two, three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto and MrFOMO. As always, please hit that like, that subscribe, that bell notification. Guys, thanks to your help, we are charging towards 1,000. So if you could help us out, we would greatly appreciate it. As I said before, this summer, we're going to really push the ante here and try to do more and more content for you guys so we can give you the best possible coverage of crypto as we've just started in the initial stages of this bull run. MrFOMO, we saw the Fed today do a hike rate. However, the markets so far have responded pretty well. Bitcoin actually was pushing 29.7, retraced just a little bit, but so far so good.
The Fed does what the Fed pretty much was expected to do. And so the market responded by, saying, yeah, that's what we thought you were going to do. And so people started buying. And so that's, it almost was a blessing for us over the last few days for the market to take a little bit of a knee to give us some cheap Satoshis that we could get our hands on. Because like the title says, this may be our last chances to get it under 20 or under 30,000.
It really might. No guarantees at all. We've been wrong before. We'll probably be wrong again, to be honest with you. We're just, but here's the thing. Someone tweeted 31K. This is a trader by Sunday. And I retweeted, I think it possibly could come sooner. Because now that meeting is over and a lot of people had some fear, you see some, and the BlackRock thing, we talked a little bit about it. What happened was it leaked that, in their opinion, the ideal portfolio would have 86% exposure to Bitcoin. Wow. Now, are they being serious? Are they trying to drum up buying because they've accumulated so much Bitcoin between 15 and 30K? No one knows the answer to that. But that's significant, MrFOMO. I don't know if that was an accidental leak. But
there's nothing accidental there. That was on purpose for sure.
But yeah.
But the idea of it is if there's that kind of excitement about it, if we're going, if TradFi is that excited about it, if they're saying that should be that much of your portfolio, then.
Well, if the ETFs, and we disagree about the ETF, I think the media attention will draw people in that left that have not come back in yet. You get an ETF approved and Bitcoin is sitting at well above 30,000. You're going to get some FOMO. In fact, today I was in a text thread and someone was experiencing some FOMO, MrFOMO. And they're like, wait a minute, this might be the last chance to get in before 30. Maybe I need to get in. There's a lot of that. I wouldn't say there's a lot of that. There's some of that going on now. But what happens if we do actually get up to 35 in August? And then people are like, wait a minute, if I wait any longer, I might not be getting in under 40 for this bull run. And so anticipation builds price. And so, yes, it has been boring since our last big candle from 25 to 30. And then on the date that we did see XRP get ruled not a security, we saw Bitcoin go all the way up to 31.8. It's been kind of boring. However, if you look at price history, this is normal correction. And a lot of people have been buying, and I think you're building support. And again, I could look like a fool in the month of August. If we go down to 28 and don't get past 30, I'll have egg on my face. But I really do believe, MrFOMO, we are headed up this month, and I think you're going to see some people FOMO in.
Historically, Bitcoin has made some charges in August. We talked about that the last show. It may be that it waits another month. Bitcoin does its own thing, but I have a really strong feeling that the summer's over now. For me, it's not so much the ETF. We've talked about what I think of that. I think is going to draw people away. People are going to put their money in the ETF rather than in Bitcoin. I hope that I'm wrong about that.
I think you're wrong. I think you're dead wrong about that. I think.
But I do think that Bitcoin is going to start to find its way up. We are getting closer and closer to being 6 months out, and that's generally where we see the takeoff. Now we are, this is April that we're talking about, so that would put us more towards October for a takeoff. So take that for what it's worth. History doesn't always repeat itself. But I would say that you would want to be in definitely between now and October if you want to see the most gains.
Let me ask you a question. And
over
this
the
is
next
the difference
24.
between the last 4 and 8 years. How many people 4 years ago, pre-pandemic, really knew that much about Bitcoin compared to now?
That's a great point. But
yeah, so we had heard about Bitcoin, right? But you on your to-do list, I assume, when your kids were even younger, was not to go home and buy Bitcoin in
God,
the
I
year
wish it was.
yeah, we
a
all do.
different conversation right now.
We all do. You might be doing the show from somewhere else,
Right?
We're
From
very
my
different.
yacht, probably.
But here's what I'm thinking here. I do think general knowledge about Bitcoin is much higher than it used to be. There are still some disbelievers, for sure. No one's going to lie about that. But there are a lot of people that kind of learned about it in the last bull run or missed out and now are starting to get intrigued. And I do think when you see Bitcoin go up, and here's the thing, are you getting Bitcoin for this bull run at 15K again? No. Are you getting Bitcoin again for 20K during this bull run? What's the answer? No. Are you getting it for 25? I would say probably big no. I don't think we're going down to 25. So now, is this the last opportunity before 30 is history? Possibly. And I think it's a decent possibility. Now, there are always going to be retraces, right? And so that's the thing. How much of the great question there, how much of the Bitcoin all-time high was due to Tesla and Elon? A little bit, but not as much as you think, because supposedly he kept all his and sold a portion of Tesla's, excuse me. So it wasn't just
to prove its liquidity, whatever that means. You know what that means? That means he needed to prove to the board that he could sell it for cash, and so he did. But yeah, I actually think that the crypto market is, we've talked about this before, there's a lot of hero worship in the crypto market. Absolutely. And Elon is one of those heroes. And so all-time high, I don't know if I would attribute it to Elon as much, but I certainly think that he pushed that price. And I certainly think that he also, had an effect on the downturn when he talked about how there was a problem with, the energy usage and the cost of running Bitcoin versus, your standard dryer. It was, he did drive the market a little bit during the last bull run. Say what you will about the Halloween indicator, but it went along right with when he was talking about the energy usage and that big summer lull that we saw.
So Clout Casino, my father waited until 30K to get in because he thought it would go down. A lot of people did not buy at 15K. If you go back to the 15K days, a lot of people were calling for 10K. So no one times it perfectly. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe you get lucky, but yeah. Crypto savvy, whoever that is, calling for 3.5. Yeah, that ain't happening. No, it's mathematically impossible. There's too much Bitcoin that's been lost forever, technically. So I just don't, at that point, Michael Saylor has sold all his Bitcoin. So
listen, if it gets down to 3.5K, what do?
You buy, and it's not happening.
That's a sketchy moment.
The only time you get to 3.5 is if you invent a time machine, which, not happening anytime soon. But here's the thing. If you have not gotten in, not financial advice, consider DCing, because there is a chance. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but a month from now, 30K not going to be available and you're going to have to get in at 34K. That's just the way things go. So we'll just have to wait and see. Because at 25K, people thought they had all the time in the world. They thought they had months and months and months. And now, raise your hand. How many of you would run to get that 25K?
I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back.
It's just crazy. When I did my short when we went down to 29, I did my short. The sentiment was so bearish when I can tell you a month from now, people are going to be like, man, I wish I'd bought at 29. It's those psychological games. When on the red days, people hate crypto. And on the green days, they love it and they're buying in when it technically really can't time it perfectly, should be the opposite. It sounds simple, but psychologically, it's very hard to pull the trigger when everyone's so negative.
And the fear and greed index, just for reference, is still neutral compared to the last 30 days. And so to see that as, along with the price action is still a little, worrying, but
we might have a rate hike. Someone brought up Tennessee. We might not. It's too early to tell.
God,
I don't think the price is going to be affected by that the next couple months, though. No, I don't.
Hopefully we'll see the market take another knee before they do that, and then bounce back when they do what they expect to do. But I, to be honest with you, I wish they would find another way to affect the demand. I wish that there was some other way other than raising the rates, right? They keep doing this over and over again. This was the same thing that they did in the Carter administration that led to the hyperinflation of the 80s. And so I'm worried that we're sort of repeating bad history with what they're doing. And I wish they would find another way.
Well, I actually
maybe affecting supply, but maybe that's just a simple man's version.
I'm actually pretty positive if inflation continues, if you believe the numbers to come down, and it's setting up for 2024 for no more rate hikes and an explosive year for investing. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Again, I am very bullish on Bitcoin going between 30 and 35K. 30 is easy, okay? I'm bullish going on Bitcoin 30 to 35K. We try to stay away from politics as much as we can. I don't think your cloud casino, you're not seeing another 20K Bitcoin. So that scenario is just not happening. Now, I want to talk, speaking of bouncing, I want to talk about something called bounce economy and the bounce token, Mr. FOMO. And here's the thing. We sometimes have conversations off the air. We got to figure out a way to record these and put them up on the show. I did not mention this. And man, I swear to you guys, I spoke to Mr. FOMO about this a couple days ago. And what happened? Well, it bounced all right, up significantly. So this token is kind of unique. It's not something I would ever hold for a long period of time, but the tokenomics are what I love. Really, really short supply, 10 million. That's it. What's the market cap? Well, really, really small as well, under 60 million. Okay. Now, who's into this? If you watch any professional sports, Kyle Kuzma plays for the Washington Wizards. On the websites, they're still having a Lakers uniform, so that website needs to be updated. But
who is the other celebrity you found there?
There's other celebrities. What is the adult film industry, which I thought was when I saw the name, I thought it was another professional athlete, but it was not. There's also Nick Young, who's a former professional basketball player. It's an interesting token, right? I don't think this is something you would ever hold for a long period of time, but here now it's on my radar for a retrace. And here's what I like, and a lot of people don't love this. For people that are getting in, now I have not mentioned LTC, Mr. Slim. I didn't plan to, but maybe I should, but just for you.
No shots. No shots yet.
I'm waiting. I'm still in my LTC position, but once I do get out, I will make a short about why I exited, because that time is coming, by the way. So just a heads up. I'm not sticking in for much longer. I'm waiting for the next leg up, and I think right before the halving, we'll see a little bit of price action. Again, I don't want to get into too much LTC. The play when you got in at 70 and wrote it up almost to 114, that was the big one. And then we got up again to 90 to over 100, and then the other day went up to 96. So at this point, getting in now, you're kind of late, right? This is now like
it's time to get out, right?
This is now like you're at a party and you keep dipping your chips into the bowl over and over again, and people are watching you. We're at that stage. So at this point, I can't get greedy, right? At this point, and talk about things in crypto, you have to be open-minded. As much as I love the LTC summer when it gave me some good times, summer's almost over. The football
And we are to
preseasons-
the event here. We're about a week
Yeah.
out. We're less than a week
So
out
the
from
football, we're getting a
halving,
little
so
bit
it's time-
extra stuff here. The football
It's time to get
preseason
out of
game,
that position.
the first football preseason game is going to kick off next Thursday. How do I know that? I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. That's a topic for another show. But when football season starts, to me, that's when summer's coming to an end. So when I talked about LTC summer in June, I was talking about June and July. I was not talking about August. So, Mr. Slim, there you go. There's your LTC conversation. Going back to this,
I hope you drank all the way through that. So you're supposed to take a shot.
Yeah, Tennessee.
All right.
Oh, Tennessee. Guess who is in bounce token? DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, your new receiver.
Yeah. So
yeah, tighten up.
Full circle here.
The bounce token.
Go ahead, Mr. FOMO.
Now that we come all the way back, the bounce token is something I like because of what they do. They're bringing blockchain to auction houses. And as we know from Sotheby's, Christie's, I mean, all these famous auction houses where you see these headlines come out every once in a while where they've sold something for millions or tens of millions of dollars, you want to see them getting into big markets like that where lots of money is flowing in and out. Appealing to those types of big money customers seems like a really good idea. And so the bounce token is really intriguing to me. Really intriguing.
And here's the thing. This is not a great time to buy. It's up over 100% this month. And the volume, this is insane. The market cap is a little over 56 million. The 24-hour volume is 68.7 million. You don't get that often. But here's the thing. When this thing retraces, it is on my radar. It's going to need to be somewhat of a decent retrace here for me to look at it strongly. Because like I've said before, I'm looking for Bitcoin now as a strong part of my portfolio. But this one also has my attention, definitely, for sure. The thing you want to do, guys, is you don't want to buy necessarily when things are overheated. You want to wait till things are cooled down and then kind of swoop in, just like we've talked about over and over. Guys, exciting. We're almost at 1,000 subs. If you are watching this right now, either live or later today or tomorrow, and you haven't subscribed, it would mean the world for us if you did. It would also mean the world for us if you shared this video and this channel with others that are maybe not even into crypto at all. Get them in before the bull run. And if they take profits like we tell them to, not financial advice, they will thank you. They will thank us. Let's do this together, guys. We appreciate the community we've built here. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto. You guys have an amazing evening, and we'll see you at 1K, hopefully tomorrow.
See you.